The following program is being brought to you on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. For more information about our network and to check out additional show hosts and topics of interest, please visit voiceamericaempowerment.com. The Voice America Talk Radio Network is the worldwide leader in live Internet talk radio. Visit voiceamerica.com. The views and ideas expressed on the following program are strictly those of the host or guests and do not necessarily reflect the views and ideas held by the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff, and management.
Welcome to Dr. MaryOz's Radical Change Now radio program. Today you will learn how to combine healing and the law of attraction to better your own life in mere weeks. Join us on our journey, which starts right now. Here's your host, Dr. MaryOz.
So, welcome back to our Radical Change Now show, and today's topic is creating a bigger, brighter, better future. And we're going to show you how to do that today by focusing on the last two laws of the 4 must laws. And you might remember from our show 2 weeks ago, we talked about the 4 must laws are the law of attraction, the law of deliberate intent, the law of allowing, and the law of detachment. And when people want to really activate the law of attraction in their life and master manifesting, we believe that you really need to know about all 4 of these laws. So today we will be focusing on the law of allowing and the law of detachment. So you might want to grab some pen and paper. We're going to take the first segment of the show. I'm going to teach you what you need to know about the law of allowing and the law of detachment. And then we have a special guest, Coach Samm, joining us for the second 2 parts of the show today. So when it comes to the law of allowing, having coached a lot of people with the law of attraction, what I see is this is actually the part where most people struggle. And the law of allowing is all about allowing in whatever you have asked for. So it's true that it's a process. You have to believe in the law of attraction. You have to know what you want. And then you actually have to allow the very thing that you asked for to come to you. And then there's this 4th step called the law of detachment as well. So allowing has to do with positive flow. And just like you can't go up and down at the same time, I want you to think about that concept for a minute. You literally cannot go up and down at the same time. You have to pick a particular direction. Well, it's the same thing with the law of allowing. You can't allow and resist at the same time. And what happens is that when it comes to resisting, a lot of times we don't really realize that we're actually resisting. So we want to help you out with that today. So how do you know when you're allowing or when you're resisting? So when you're feeling good and you're getting what you want and your desire is coming to you, you're in the flow of allowing. Versus if you're hoping that it's going to come to you, or you're fighting with believing that it's going to come to you, if you're doubting or if you're struggling with the process, then you're in resistance. So what else can you feel on the resistance side? On the resistance side, you feel feelings like fear, doubt, jealousy, frustration. A big one is desperation. If you're desperate to get something, you actually are not allowing it all. If we're feeling lack, depression, shame, you're also in resistance. And there's another one that I want to go over that a lot of people wouldn't actually think is resistance, but having worked with a lot of people, I know for sure this is. So sometimes we have the need to be right? Sometimes we feel like our way is the right way, or we think we're right and someone else is wrong. And anytime we're exercising the belief and the energy that we're right, we're actually in resistance. Now let's take a look at the other side. So what does allowing look like and feel like? So allowing is when you're able to surrender, when you're able to let go and trust. Allowing has to do with when you're just in the moment or you're just being, right? So we talk about being versus doing, and being is a form of allowing. Often when people are taking inspired action, they're in an allowing state. If you're working or are being open, sometimes just by simply saying yes. And actually, I wanted to share with this with you today. This is a little technique that we use in our coaching group. If you're having trouble being in an allowing state, like let's say you want to attract a swimming pool for yourself and your family. And if you can just catch yourself saying yes, like yes, it's on its way. Yes, we have enough money. Yes, it's going to be perfect. Yes, we're going to get the perfect liner. We're going to find the perfect pool company to work with. Yes, we're going to buy it for the right price. If you can just practice saying yes about the thing that you want, that's a way of raising your vibration and being in allowing. Other key words are belief, faith, receiving. Allowing is really just receiving what you asked for and going with the flow. So I'd like to share a law of attraction technique that Esther and Jerry Hicks, and I actually learned it from Esther and Jerry Hicks in their book called Ask and It's Given. And what I found in my life is there are certain books like Ask and It's Given, and also in my very first show, I talked about Dr. Joe Vitale's book called At Zero and Zero Limits. And these are books that I feel are very practical, and they made a huge difference in my life. And one of the reasons the book Ask and It's Given has made a huge difference in my life is because Esther and Jerry Hicks, they teach these law of attraction processes and techniques that you can use. So one of the ones that I've learned to use on a daily basis is all about learning how to trust the universal manager. So what you would do is, let's say, just like if you owned a company one day and you were the boss, or if you were like the CEO of Ford or a really big company, you would go to your manager and you would just tell that manager what you want. And you would be specific and you would be clear. And then once you told the manager what you wanted, you would trust that it's going to happen, and then you would move on. So the challenge is for you guys and myself to remember that you need to trust in the universal manager. And once you know what you want, and once you're ready to receive it, you put it out there, and then you have to move into the allowing part, which is all about trusting. So I'd like to have a coaching moment with you guys today, and I want you to write down some areas in your life where you need to let go. I'd like you to write down some areas in your life that you would like to surrender. So you want to attract something and it's not working. And I also want to give you the distinction that surrender does not mean submission, right? Some people say, I don't want to surrender. And that's because they really don't see like surrendering as a part of allowing. They give a negative meaning to surrender as if it means submission. So when we talk about surrender today, we are not talking about being submissive. So what I want you to do is think about these areas in your life and see if you can notice where there's some resistance going on that you weren't aware of before you tuned into our show today. So when it comes to your physical health, are you resistant about your vitality, your looks, your shape, or your weight? When it comes to your emotional health, do you have any resistance about having happy, positive feelings? How about your mental health? Mental health has to do with your self-talk. Do you have any resistant thinking or lie-based thinking going on? What about your spiritual health? Do you have any resistance around your spiritual health? How about relationships, whether it's family, friends, or a lover? Do you have any resistance going on that you want to release and let go of? How about having fun in your life? Are you allowing time for fun? Are you allowing yourself to be playful? What about your career? Is it time for change? Is it time for expansion? Do you have any resistance? And then a topic that everyone loves to talk about is increasing their financial wealth. What about your financial wealth? Do you have any resistance going on with money, abundance, prosperity? So just take note of any areas in your life where you're actually more resistant. And then from today's show, you want to learn some ways to actually focus on being allowing and receiving more than resistance. So let's move into the second law that I want to discuss with you today, which is the law of detachment. So the law of detachment is all about detaching from the actual desire so that you don't stay in a place of wanting or desperation. So I'd like to give you a little visual. If you're sitting down or if you're standing up, if you just take both your arms, and like when you were a little kid and you pretended you were an airplane, put your arms out like you're an airplane. And I want you to wiggle your fingers. And what happens is, if we're in a state of hoping, wanting, or desperation, we're actually keeping the very thing we want. So now you wiggle your fingers. You're keeping the very thing that you want at your fingertips, and you're keeping it away from your body. So if we stay attached to the very desire, we stay in a wanting state, and we don't want to do that. We actually want to be in what we call a having state or a being state. So we don't want to send that message to the law of attraction that we want it versus we're claiming it, owning it, and have it now. Another thing that happens when we stay in the wanting state or when we stay desperate is we actually intensify our negative feelings by accident, right? So we intensify our worry, our doubt that we're not going to get it, or our fear that it's never going to come, and that interrupts our flow. It interrupts our positive vibration and our positive flow. So here's what you actually want to do, and I would write this down. You want to work on releasing rather than pushing. And for people that push hard, for people that are overachievers, sometimes that's hard to do. But yes, you want to release rather than push. You want to let go rather than cling to. You want to expect rather than long for, right? You don't want to stay in the state of longing. And you actually want to feel as if you already have the thing that you desire. Now, I want to share a little secret with you. So it turns out, and I think you guys would all agree with this, turns out our conscious mind knows the difference between pretending and reality. But our unconscious mind actually works different than our conscious mind, and our unconscious mind does not distinguish between reality and imagination. So I am not a big believer as a coach in telling people fake it till you make it. I mean, that just doesn't resonate well with me. But what I do believe is that if you really want the 4 must laws to work in your life, you really can use your imagination. And it's almost like you work around your unconscious by believing you have it. And it makes the whole manifestation process go much quicker. So let's have another coaching moment. And I want you to think about some things in your life that you would love to have that you have not yet been able to attract into your life. And go ahead and write down a few things. I want you to actually try to write down 3 to 5 things. I'm going to give you 30 seconds or so. Write down 1 thing, 2 things, 3 things. Okay, so once you have those things down, I want you to put a number next to it. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do I really, really want it? And 10 is a high number, and 1, 2, 3 is a low number. And I want you to notice that it's the things that you want with a high number that are more difficult for you to be less detached from, right? To be less attached and more detached from. So I'm going to show you how to make a shift with the things that you really, really want. So we talked about it earlier. You can just say yes, right? So right now, look at the paper, the things that you wrote down, and I want you to be thinking, yes, that's I have that. Yes, so how is it going to feel when I have that thing? How's it going to change my life? Who else is going to be happy for me when that happens and when I receive that? So one is the yes. Yes, it's happening. Yes, it's on its way, whichever resonates with you. Another thing we could do is reach for feelings of trust, right? So trust is a belief, but trust is also a feeling. So ask yourself a powerful coaching question. What would it take for you to reach for feelings of trust? What would you have to say? What would you have to feel? Reach for feelings of surrender. Another way is to reach for a feeling of relief. Any thought or feeling that's going to feel better is going to help you be more detached. You can also reach for a better thought, which will lead to a better feeling. So in other words, you might say, I don't have this today or right now in this moment, but maybe I'll have it by tonight. Maybe I'll manifest it by tomorrow, right? So anytime you reach for a better feeling thought, you get a better feeling. And here's the big part that I want you to really hear today, and I would like you to write this down as well. When it comes to the law of detachment, you want to allow the universe to decide how, what, when, and where. Right? So when it comes to the universe, you want to allow the universe to decide how, what, when, and where, and you actually want to start believing in perfect timing. And another little thing that I do is not only believe in perfect timing, but I also like to believe in just all is well. Whatever I want, whatever I'm trying to attract, whatever I'm allowing in, whatever I need to detach from, if you just go to the belief of all is well, it kind of just brings that all together. So basically you want to see God, the universe, divinity, whatever you call spiritual being, as a universal manager who knows best. Right? I always like to say, he's the creator, we're just the created, and if we're stuck with something, it means on our own we haven't been able to fix it or resolve it. So we're going to let God, for me it's God or divinity, we're going to let divinity fix what we can't fix. So there is another technique that I want to share with you. It's called the placement process, and it also comes from Esther and Jerry Hicks from my reading of the book, Ask and It's Given. And very simply what you would do is take a piece of paper, draw a line down the middle, and a line across the top. And in the first column, you're going to put your name, so I would put Dr. Mary, and in the next column, you put God. And I do this in the morning when I wake up. So when I get into my office and I'm ready to work, I draw myself that little graph, and under my name, I put down the things that I have to get done for the day. And then if I look at that list and I'm struggling with anything, I actually say, well, what would I like to ask God to take care of today? Because I either have too much on my plate or there are things on this list that I don't know what to do with. And I would put a few things on God's list and I would shorten my list. And then what I do is I trust in the universal manager, God. I move on and I let go. And we don't have time to tell the story today in depth, but one time when using this process, I actually asked God in the God column to help me find a set of keys that I needed for a Mercedes. I was returning a Mercedes to the shop, and I needed a set of keys that I hadn't had for a few months. And on Monday, I put in the request. I let it go. I forgot about it. And on Wednesday, 20 minutes before I was supposed to leave to turn in the car, I looked at my little placement process, and I said, okay, what do I do now? And something said to me, go to the black bag in the closet. And I started to argue a little bit and say, but I looked in that bag 30 times. I'm not going to look in that bag again. And I did look in the bag, and I checked all the pockets. And just as I was putting the bag back in the closet, I noticed a front pocket that I had missed. And 20 minutes, right as I was supposed to leave the house, there were the keys in the black bag. So the placement process could be very powerful. You can find more information in the book called Ask and It's Given. And just want you to realize that there are specific techniques that could be used with the law of allowing and the law of detachment. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, Coach Samm is going to be with us, and she's going to share with us some stories about the law of allowing and the law of detachment. Be right back.
Become our friend on Facebook. Post your thoughts about our shows and network on our timeline. Visit facebook.com/Voice America.
Dr. MaryOz's Radical Change Coaching Program will help you set a healing foundation in your life and teach you how to manifest more of what you want. Are you ready to get the results and radical change you have been longing for too long? Very often our clients tell us that this is the most powerful coaching they have ever received. Come join us and start living life with more results, more love, more wealth, health, and peace, as well as inspiration. For more information, call Coach Samm at 1-833-447-CHANGE. Need help deciding if our Radical Change coaching program is right for you? Apply for a free strategy session with one of our coaches. Be prepared to dive deep and identify the areas in life in which you need healing and transformation. Together, we will clarify how to close the gap from where you are to where you want to be and discover what's possible now. How would it feel to get big changes in less than 30 days for you, your loved ones, and your business? Apply now by calling Coach Samm at 1-833-447-CHANGE or visit us at radicalchangenow.com.
If you think you've seen online TV before, let us surprise you.
VoiceAmerica.tv is online now.
The leader in live internet talk radio has done it again. Multiple channels, a state-of-the-art viewing experience, live and on-demand programs streaming 24 hours a day. It's exactly what you want, when you want it.
VoiceAmerica.tv.
From health and wellness to business, sports, and everything in between. Discover our new world. Visit VoiceAmerica.tv now and experience the future of online television.
VoiceAmerica.tv.
Take us on the go. It's even easier now. The Voice America Talk Radio Network has launched our mobile app for iPhone, Android, or BlackBerry. Visit the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market to download the app powered by Aircast. It's free and no registration is necessary. In minutes, you could be enjoying your favorite Voice America Talk Radio host, no matter where you are, in the car, out and about, while traveling, or anytime you can't be close to your computer. Catch up on the archives you've missed or discover new shows on the spot. Search Voice America at your favorite app store.
Have you friended us on Facebook yet? Why not? Just go to facebook.com/Voice America or search for the keywords Voice America. Once you are part of our Facebook network, you'll receive daily messages about what's happening with our shows, this week's featured guests, and new happenings of the Voice America Talk Radio Network. And you can add your voice to the always active discussions on our wall. Just go to facebook.com/Voice America or search for Voice America.
Have you had a chance to check out Voice America's online magazine and blog, Press Pass? If you love our hosts and shows, check out articles that give an even deeper perspective. Plus topics about health and fitness, movie reviews, philosophy, business tips and tactics, spirituality, positive thought, current events, and even more about your favorite host. It's just a click away at vapresspass.com. That's vapresspass.com. VA Press Pass by Voice America. All access, all the time.
We're making it easier to listen to the Voice America Talk Radio Network live wherever you go on iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android. Download it from the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
You are listening to Radical Change Now with Dr. MaryOz. If you'd like to participate in our discussion today, the phone lines are open. Reach us at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. Let's get back to Radical Change Now. Here again is Dr. MaryOz.
So I have a very special guest with us today. I would like to welcome Coach Samm to our call today. And it's nice to have you here.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here.
Great. Awesome. And I wanted to share with everyone that Samm is not only one of our coaches, she's been promoted to our Chief Operational Officer at Radical Change Now. And she's completed all 3 levels of our courses, and she's doing an awesome job. And I'm just thrilled to have you on our show today. And I know you have a lot of stories and expertise to share with us, so welcome.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
So I was going to ask you, can you tell us what you love the most about the 4 must laws?
Yeah, there's so many things that I love, but I would say the most important thing that I've learned so far is that we need to heal first, then attract. And I know we have talked about this on your show, and you've talked about it as well, by Ho'oponoponoing first, and then learning and applying the law of attraction is so important. And by using this method, I've really seen major shifts in my personal life, as well as the clients I've had the pleasure to work with. But to go back to your question, the one thing that I love about the 4 must laws is it really has taught me the importance of alignment. And like I said, me and you are always talking about alignment, and alignment is really the first step anybody needs to address in order to receive the change and healing they're looking for in their life. And what I love about our Radical Change coaching program is we really teach our clients how to be mentally, emotionally, and energetically aligned by focusing on three main components, which is your head, your heart, and your gut. And, you know, one of the questions I get all the time from doing the strategy calls is, why are these three sections of our body so important? And it's real simple when we break it down. Our head connects us to our thoughts, our heart connects us to our feelings, and our gut connects us to our beliefs.
Wow. I really like how you put that, Sam. And it is true. I think alignment is one of your favorite words, probably right next to Ho'oponopono.
Yes.
And we always have these really deep conversations about alignment. And sometimes when, you know, we're going about our day, we catch each other and we just remind each other, alignment first, healing, and then alignment.
Absolutely.
But, you know.
Yes. And, you know, as your listeners can see, what's so important about alignment is our body, these three parts, our head, our heart, and our gut, they are physically aligned in our body. They run vertically through our body. But it's so important to realize that it's our job to make them mentally, emotionally, and energetically aligned, right?
Absolutely.
So I've spoken to so many different people about this, and with our conversations that we have, I find that everyone is so different in which one they struggle with. And for me, when I first joined your course, I was really struggling with my gut. I had such a hard time in my beliefs, and I found that they were limiting me in believing. And it took a lot of work for me to identify what limiting beliefs I had. And that's where Ho'oponopono really helped me clean, cleanse, and erase my limiting beliefs, which then really allowed me to work with the universe and the law of attraction.
Yeah, so first of all, I just want to comment. So, you know, what a powerful statement for you to just really be able to be vulnerable, notice, and share that, you know, you were struggling with your gut and you really were struggling with some limiting beliefs and believing. And, you know, that's such an important lesson that we teach in our coaching program, because there's always like 25% of the room that's struggling with that. And it's like Ho'oponopono, law of attraction, and all the other laws that we're talking about. If you don't believe in them in your gut, and if you have what we call split energy, nothing that you want really happens, or it's 100% harder for it to happen. Exactly. So I love that. Yeah, I love that clarity that you have, that, you know, because that's life-changing, right? If you learn how to believe in your gut, that's actually life-changing.
Oh, and it definitely has been, so.
Very cool. Awesome. So today we focused on the law of allowing and the law of detachment in the first part of our show. Do you have any law of allowing stories that you would like to share with us today?
I do. Actually, I'm living my story now, so it's exciting to share. Yeah, to share and live it at the same time. But as you know, I went to school for social work, and I graduated with my master's, I would say about 2 years ago. And I was very fortunate. I got a supervisory job right after graduation, and I was thrilled. I was in my field. I was ready to help others, and I was just so excited to get started. I would say about 6 months in, I realized that I wasn't really finding the joy in the work that I was doing. And it took me a while, but I had to really dig deep into figuring out why I was feeling this way. It had nothing to do with my colleagues. I absolutely loved them. It didn't have to do with the company I worked for. It had to do with the fact that I had no direct client interaction. I would say most of my day I was on the computer answering emails. I barely got any phone calls. So it was a lot of computer work, and it wasn't really what I thought I was going to be doing. So what did I do? Like most people, I just got comfortable, and I didn't listen to myself, and I stayed at the job, right? Fast forward 2 more years, and I'm still miserable at doing the work that I'm doing, and I want more. So I finally decide I'm going to push myself, and I'm going to apply for other jobs. I applied for a job, and I kid you not, this is how the universe works. But 10 minutes after applying, I got a call to schedule an interview, and I was blown away. So I was thrilled, as the call back that I got was for a job that has been something I've always wanted to do, and it was working with children, which I was so passionate about. So I go on the interview, and it went great. So great that they asked me to go on a second interview that night with HR. So 2 hours later, I'm offered the job, and I have a start date in 4 weeks. And I'm going to ask you to fast forward again to about the week before I'm about to start. And it's Labor Day weekend, so we're off the following Monday. And I'm supposed to start my new job on Tuesday. And it's now Thursday. And I get a call from the new agency that I'm going to work for. And they called me to tell me that the new job is no longer available.
Oh, no.
So
not what you want to hear.
No, and at that point, I already left my current job. So I had no job. I had no job to go to, and I had no job to turn back to. So what did I do? I panicked. All these negative thoughts went racing through my head. Questions like, how am I going to survive without money? How can I not have a job? I was really struggling with what other people will think of me, and what did I do wrong? How did I attract this into my life? I would say I had about a 10-minute meltdown. And then I realized, what is this doing for me, right? Is this helping me in any sort of way? And of course, my answer was no to both of them. So I pulled myself together, and I came to the realization that we know everything happens for a reason, and maybe the universe gave me this opportunity to get me out of work, as it knew I wouldn't have done it by myself. And even maybe I can use this opportunity for a bigger purpose in life. And I'm excited to say, here we are 4 weeks later. I'm happy to say I'm working for Radical Change Now full-time, and I really believe this is where I belong. Helping people in ways they couldn't even begin to imagine is so fulfilling. And what's so wonderful about my story is I just allowed the universe to guide me to the path I am meant to be on. And you know me, and I never thought I would say this out loud, but letting go was so liberating. And the law of allowing really helped me move mountains, and it can help move mountains in other people's life when we're able to let go and trust in the universe.
Wow. I love that. So you're sharing this story about how, first of all, we can all end up in a job that we stay too long at, right? And it was making you sad about the no direct client interaction. And before you know it, 2 years passed. I love how you said 10-minute manifestation, right? Like you put it out there. Don't we love when 10 minutes later it comes in so fast? And we feel like we're really getting a hold of the 4 must laws then, right?
Yeah.
And then, like you're saying, there turned out to be this unexpected outcome that you thought you were heading in the direction of one particular job. Something went wrong, 10-minute panic, pull yourself together, apply everything you learned in the course, and then the next thing, another opportunity pops up. You feel like you're really supposed to be there. I, of course, feel like you're really supposed to be there. I may have a little bit more relief than you that the other job didn't work out, because it's really great to have you on board here. But let's talk about that liberating feeling, right? Just to feel liberated and to go through all that and be able to breathe and say, oh, it really did all work out okay.
Right, and like I said, you know me. For me to let go of control is something that I have never done. So for me to just say, you know what, I'm going to allow the universe to direct me in the path of the way I need to go, I never thought I'd feel so free, and really free just to, like a sponge, where I could take in any new opportunity that comes my way.
So you're feeling like a sponge, and you're enjoying the liberation.
Absolutely.
Not things you would have thought you heard yourself say on a radio show. Never. So I know you've had some great results. You've done all 3 levels of our Radical Change coaching program, and you had such amazing results in your own life that you decided you want to bring this powerful information to kids. So tell us about your Law of Attraction program for kids.
Absolutely, I'd love to. And, I just want to start off by saying, you always say, by trusting and allowing, we make room for inspiration. And that's what this program is. One day I woke up with this idea, and I have been inspired since. So,
isn't that a cool feeling? It's so cool to be liberated and inspired.
To live a life like that is so different than what I'm so used to living. So thank you.
And don't you find, I know in my life, I find that the inspiration comes often, right? It's not like, oh, I got inspired and then I wait 3 months. It's like the inspiration just flows. It comes continuously.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let me tell you about my program. So I created a program called Empowered Kids, and this program is meant to teach children about the law of attraction in ways that they can understand and apply to their life. So I saw exactly what you said. I saw what results our clients were getting with our Radical Change program, and I wanted to create a way to reach more people. And I have this deep passion in life to work with children, and I felt like this would be a great opportunity to share it with children. So just to break it down a little bit, the concept of the program is for children to have a place where they can learn law of attraction and Ho'oponopono in a condensed way, which is easy for them to process and apply to their life as children. And, you know, I feel like it's important to point out and realize that children and adults face different day-to-day problems, but the solution is the same. So by setting a positive mindset, children can learn to work with the universe and live a healthy, fun, and positive lifestyle.
Yeah, you know, I love that distinction, Sam. That, you know, you really just hit a chord in my mind, because I work with families all the time in my counseling practice. And, you know, a lot of times parents really don't think about, my kids feel like they're having problems too, or even though my kids' problems may seem simple to me, they don't seem simple to my child. Right? So what a beautiful solution that you can, and the solution is the same to offer to both of them, and that you're going to be addressing that.
Right, exactly. And I feel like Empowered Kids is going to be a program that allows children and their parents to work together with introducing the law of attraction in their life. So the program is a place where the children can use the computer in a positive setting and learn how to improve their lives. It will be an online program where the child and the parent can learn the material for the week, and now the parents can go back and really intertwine the material we learned into the family's lifestyle.
Nice, I like that.
Yeah, so for example, if let's say we focus on, the focus of the week is gratitude, the parents will be able to take that concept and continue the lesson with the children, so the whole family is involved in the healing process.
So it's really a program that helps kids and parents, but it can extend to the entire family.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Absolutely. And, you know, if I take a step back and I think about the main reason why I thought to create this program, it's because I was always hearing this statement, oh, I wish I knew this stuff 3 years ago, or why did it take me so long to learn this and apply it? And it dawned on me, why do we have to limit ourselves by thinking we can't experience happiness and joy and gratitude until we're adults? Right. I've worked with kids for a very long time, and I've witnessed too many children struggle with life at such a young age. They struggle with school, and sometimes it saddens me, but they even struggle with their worth, right? And I believe that we don't want our children to live that kind of negative lifestyle. And by starting them young and teaching them that thoughts become things and that we're in charge of our happiness, not the outside world, I believe that could be life-changing for them.
Yeah, and, you know, that really warms my heart, because I'm sitting here thinking about, okay, so I've had this Radical Change program for about 4 years. I've taught it to hundreds of people. And then someone like you comes along and you're like, okay, let's take this message to the children. And it's not just about changing adults' lives, but now we're talking about changing children's lives at such a critical time. Like, I often think of my own childhood, and I would think about, well, I wish I knew this stuff back then.
Right.
Like, I would have made different choices. I wouldn't have, how old are you, by the way?
I just turned 25.
So I'm a little more than twice your age. And I'm thinking, you know, like, what a difference this information could have made for me when I was in elementary school, middle school, or high school. Or even to have had this information at 25. You know, so I think that's an excellent program. I'm so glad that you're on it, you've done it, and that you're offering it to families. So I'm so proud of you for creating that, and I'm glad you're doing that. Now, I also know you love to work with kids, so I could hear that in your sharing. What do you love most about working with kids?
That's hard just to pinpoint one, but, you know, I was lucky enough to really discover at a young age my purpose in life, and which is to work with children. And that's the one thing that really drives me day to day, knowing that I've helped or maybe even shaped the life of a young mind, and like so many mentors of mine have done. But my favorite thing about working with children is really watching their growth. Watching children mentally, emotionally, and physically grow is such a blessing that I get to be a part of. And the fact that I can help children grow, and it really doesn't, it's not that I'm doing the work for them. It's
Right.
the children are doing it on their own by motivating and pushing themselves to be a better person.
I love that. And so proud of you as a coach that, it's not like I'm the expert and I'm going to help you.
Right.
From a coaching mentality, you're coming from, my job is to help you help yourself. And then when the change happens, I'm not wonderful. Isn't it great that you're so wonderful? So, that's just another confirmation that I've coached you well. So kudos to you for that.
I appreciate it.
So we've got one more question before we take a commercial break. And I just want to know, Sam, what do you actually share with your clients when it comes to believing that the universe is supporting them in what they want, but what do they have to do for their part so that they can allow their desire to come to them?
Yeah, so this is probably the biggest lesson I've learned myself through your program, and my advice is letting go. The analogy, you're not supposed to paddle upstream for the things you want, moves me in so many ways. I can't even begin to tell you. But just to go back a second, I think when I talked about alignment before, I mentioned that my gut was not aligned in the beginning. And one of the limiting beliefs I had, which took me so long to really release, was you're not supposed to work hard for things you want. And to me, that statement goes against everything I believe in. I believed in, right? So when Esther Hicks explained that life wasn't about paddling upstream, it was about letting go of the oars and floating downstream. That just opened a whole new chapter in my life.
Awesome.
So my advice is always just to let go of whatever's holding you back from your true potential and let the stream take you instead of fighting it.
Excellent note for us to end on. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, but be sure to join us because we're going to spend some more time with Coach Samm, and we're going to be talking specifically now about the law of detachment.
We're making it easier to listen to the Voice America Talk Radio Network live wherever you go on iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android. Download it from the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
Dr. MaryOz's Radical Change Coaching Program will help you set a healing foundation in your life and teach you how to manifest more of what you want. Are you ready to get the results and radical change you have been longing for too long? Very often our clients tell us that this is the most powerful coaching they have ever received. Come join us and start living life with more results, more love, more wealth, health, and peace, as well as inspiration. For more information, call Coach Samm at 1-833-447-CHANGE. Need help deciding if our Radical Change coaching program is right for you? Apply for a free strategy session with one of our coaches. Be prepared to dive deep and identify the areas in life in which you need healing and transformation. Together, we will clarify how to close the gap from where you are to where you want to be and discover what's possible now. How would it feel to get big changes in less than 30 days for you, your loved ones, and your business? Apply now by calling Coach Samm at 1-833-447-CHANGE or visit us at radicalchangenow.com.
Tune in to the Voice America Variety channel on the Voice America Talk Radio Network. Voice America Variety broadcasts a diverse array of topics, reaching a global community. Our experts come from all walks of life, and the topics they discuss are everything from current events, arts and entertainment, leadership, parenting, relationships, self-improvement, career advice, and a variety of other topics. Check us out today. You're sure to find something of interest. Voice America Variety. Talk on today's hot topics.
Live up to your full potential. You've heard that for years, but now there's a channel to help you get there. Introducing the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Get motivated, hear about success stories, and positive encouragement. The Voice America Empowerment Channel is the home of the world's top life coaches, entrepreneurs, and success experts. Listen to the Voice America Empowerment Channel. It's your world. Motivate, change, succeed.
Now you don't have to stay linked to your desktop or laptop. Take Voice America on the go and listen anywhere. Get our mobile app for iPhone, BlackBerry, or Android at the Apple iTunes App Store, BlackBerry App World, or Android Market.
You are listening to Radical Change Now with Dr. Mary Oz. If you'd like to participate in our discussion today, the phone lines are open. Reach us at 1-888-346-9141. That's 1-888-346-9141. Let's get back to Radical Change Now. Here again is Dr. Mary Oz.
So we're here with Coach Samm, and we just finished asking her some great questions about the law of allowing. And now we've got some questions for her on the law of detachment. So like I had shared earlier, Samm, you have been able to complete all 3 levels of the Radical Change coaching program. And I was wondering, what did you learn that was most helpful when it comes to the law of detachment?
Sure. So, as I mentioned before, I would say letting go was so important. But I think what's even more important is to know that I kind of separate the definition of letting go into 2 different categories. So, letting go of control, which is the law of allowing, is different than letting go of what you want, which is the law of detachment. And as you talked about earlier in your show, letting go of things and your desires and letting go of your goals specific to what you want allows us to be not attached to the result or the outcome that we're looking for. And it really allows us not to be desperate.
Right. Wow, that's really powerful. I like that distinction. I might actually add that to the course material.
Oh,
well said. So I'm going to encourage our listeners today to actually write that down. So could you repeat that distinction about the difference of letting go of control and what you want? Because I think that's actually well put and very powerful.
Sure. So, like I said, I separate the definition of letting go to 2 different meanings. So letting go of control is the law of allowing. And it's important to know that's different than letting go of what you want, and which that is the law of detachment.
And really, you need both, but you actually want to understand the difference.
Exactly. So letting go in total really helped me with the law of allowing and the law of detachment.
Nice. Nicely said. Beautiful. So what about, do you have a law of detachment story that you want to share with us today?
Oh, yeah, I do. Unfortunately, it didn't turn out the way I wanted, but honestly, this is the best way that I learned the importance of detachment. So I can tell,
Sam, I can tell from that big sigh that this is a big story.
Yeah, it's a big story to me. So as I mentioned before, I graduated with my master's in social work, and after graduation, my next step is to really get licensed as a clinical social worker, and in order to do that, I need to pass my licensing exam. And I will start off by saying tests are not my thing. I have always struggled with them. So rewind back to when I first joined your course and I was introduced to law of attraction. I fell in love with this, and I thought, this is what I need to pass my test. And I felt like the missing puzzle was there. And I would say my positive affirmations, I would do visualization work, I would even go as far as writing my name out with the credentials to do some visualization work. So every time I opened my book to study, I would write Samantha Ozegovich, LMSW, before I even started to study. So, as I mentioned before, I stayed at my previous job for 2 years, as I believed in order to find a job that I wanted, I needed my license in order to have it. So I kind of put my happiness on the line there, and I put that in order for me to be happy, I needed to get my license. And by the way, Coach Samm would kind of step in right here and say, whoa, take a step back. This is where I made my big mistake. But I'm not Coach Samm right now, I'm just Sam. But so let's go to the day of the test. I felt so confident. I was in the right frame of mind. I was feeling great. I was a little nervous, but good nerves. I was really ready to pass, but most importantly, I was really ready for the new opportunities the license would bring me. And with the LMSW exam, you find out then and there if you pass. So once you answer the last question, you get your results. So my final score popped up, and I failed. I got I got a 94 out of 95. I missed it by 1 point.
You missed it by 1 point.
1 point.
Oh,
yeah.
After all that hard work, too.
Yeah, so I was devastated, right? I put so much work into this. I really felt that I was prepared mentally and emotionally, and I couldn't figure out what I did wrong with the law of attraction. I felt like if I was doing it, I was in the right mind frame. Why didn't it work for me? So the timing of everything is always so important. But so the next day, we had our coaching class, and I had all intentions of not going because I was still upset with myself, and everybody in the group knew that I was taking my test, so everybody was going to ask me if I passed, and I wasn't ready to face it. But I pushed myself. I went anyway. And side note, it's so funny how the universe works, because that day you taught us the law of detachment. And It hit me like a ton of bricks. That's where I went wrong. I never detached from the test, and I never detached from the neediness or the desire to pass. So
it makes sense, though, right? So, like, passing this test was so important. You rigged it to happiness and so many other things. So you really wanted it really, really, really bad.
Yeah, exactly what you said. If I didn't pass, I would have to stay at the job that I wasn't happy with at the time. Mm. So I linked it to my happiness, and I linked it to my success. And let me tell you, I learned detachment real quick after that one. So
that's all it takes sometimes is, when we get the lesson, the experience goes away, right?
But I am happy to share that I am going to take my test again, but this time I'll be in a different mindset. And I won't allow it to come. I'll allow it to come when it's supposed to come. And I'm really not going to depend on 4 letters or the 4 credentials after my name to make career opportunities for me. I'll make those opportunities for myself.
I love that. Very nice. I love that story. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah, thank you.
So, is there a lesson that you would say you learned from that experience?
What comes to mind is expect and not long for. And I know you talked a little bit about that before on the first segment of the show. But expect is a strong word for me, but it really allows me to have the confidence in myself in order to push myself to be licensed. So, and once I get licensed, I have the ability to work with children on a clinical level. So I really think that expecting is so different than longing for.
Right. It really is. We had Christy Whitman on the show last week. It's an inside job, right? And the kind of work you're talking about is really the inside job that we have to work on.
Right.
So we're down to our last 2 minutes today. Do you have any advice for our listeners that you want to share before we end today?
Yeah, my biggest one is don't attach, or you're going to fail the test by 1 point.
I love that. Nicely said.
Right. Well, on a serious note, I would say letting go and allowing are 2 important steps in the process that everyone needs to do in order to see the results they want. And sometimes this is easier said than done, but I'm a perfect example. I struggled for some time with this. This wasn't a mindset change that happened overnight. And I'm so happy that I pushed through it because I really rode the roller coaster with emotions, and I pushed through, and I'm at a point in my life that I'm very happy with. So changing my mindset and my limiting beliefs have really led me to the opportunity to lay a healing foundation where I now let inspiration guide me every day, hence the Empowered Kids program. And I'm so happy that I get to share this experience with you and our Law of Attraction and Ho'oponopono community. It really has been a true blessing, so I'm very grateful.
Wow, and I'm so glad you took the program, and, you committed, you came in, you took all 3 levels, and all 3 levels was an 18-month commitment for you, and I know you're like a sponge who's liberated. You really soaked it all up, so I just want to say I'm proud of you, and I want to thank you for sharing your stories today and your lessons with us. You did a great job. But I really also want to thank you for really helping us with the Radical Change coaching program. And for the short time that you've been with us, you really helped us pull a lot of pieces together. So I thank you and I honor you for that.
Oh, well, like I said, it's been my pleasure. So thank you for having me, and thank you for letting me work for you for Radical Change Now.
Very cool. So listen, this is the end of today's show, but come back and join us next week. And actually, we've extended an invitation to Coach Samm to join us again next week as we dive deeper into that program of hers, Empowered Kids and Law of Attraction. And she's going to come back and she's going to share some more details about the program and what a difference it can make in families' lives and the benefits. So we want you to have an awesome week. Thank you for joining us today on the Radical Change Now with Dr. Mary Oz here on the Empowerment Channel at Voice America. Have an awesome week.
Thank you for tuning in this week for Radical Change Now. Be sure to join Dr. Mary Oz again next Wednesday at 10 a.m. Pacific Time and 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Until then, have the best week of your life.